The Finance Minister of Ontario, Rod Phillips, a man whom I've seen before. When the campaign was going on in 2018, and I used to take the train into Toronto to work. I used to see him passing out candy bars at the GO station there. Um, he is now in the Caribbean right now when Ontarians are being forced to lock down, not allowed to go see their families. They have to wear masks everywhere they go. If they don't wear a mask, if small businesses don't shut down, if they don't follow the rules, they'll be brutalized by police, beaten. In Vancouver, we interviewed a lady, a great woman, Valerie Ann Foley, who's now a friend of mine. She had her ribs punched in for not wearing a mask on a train, even though the train official said she can't wear it. She was punched up, beaten up against the wall. But Rod Phillips, he doesn't like these rules. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Nobody does. Who can blame him? So he's out in St. Bart's now, in the Caribbean. He's on a beach right now. Probably not, definitely not wearing any mask. No media to scrutinize him. And what makes it even worse is that while he is in the Caribbean, he makes Twitter posts which make people think that he is still in Canada. He makes one Twitter post about him, talking about eating cookies and meeting people in Ajax and all this. So Ajax is his constituency. It's just a few moments from where I live. Ajax is in the Durham region. So he's lying, or at least he's trying to be deceptive. He's a chameleon. The truth is not within him. But you know what makes this even worse is that Rod Phillips helped write the new lockdown order. Because as of Boxing Day, for the next 28 days, and probably more, Ontario is locked down. You can't go anywhere, do anything. You can only go out of your house for essential services. They're now trying to say that there's a new type of China virus out there, which is even more deadly, trying to scare everybody yet again, trying to destroy 2021 yet again. I mean, this virus kills less than 1% of people who get it. 99% survival rate. Japan never had a lockdown. Their numbers are going good. Even though I don't count numbers, I count deaths. But to play devil's advocate, their numbers are dropping and they never had a lockdown. Same with Sweden, Taiwan. But Rod Phillips, of course, he doesn't like the lockdown. He helped write it. But he doesn't like it. No human being wants to live like that. But he has the ability, because he's finance minister and the rules don't seem to apply to him, to go off to the Caribbean. Now, Doug Ford came out and said he's disappointed. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, Doug. Doug, that's not good enough that you're disappointed and he shouldn't do it again and he should come back to Ontario immediately. He said that 2 days ago and Rod Phillips is still out there. As far as we know, he's still out there. So it's like this guy can blatantly disobey what the Premier, Doug, is saying. Doug should call him to order. Doug should call Rod Phillips to order. Otherwise, we'll call those horseback police from Toronto who attacked Adamson BBQ to go attack Rod Phillips. No. You know what? I'm gonna call Doug. I'm gonna call him right now. I have his number. I'm not going to be bad. I'm a professional aristocratic. I will call. He's not going to answer, but I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him. I'll leave a message. Because he isn't right. Doug Ford told Rod to come back to Ontario immediately. And he said this about 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, whatever. And he's still out there. And the reason I know he's still out there is because a recent article about this from CBC says he's still out of the country despite Ford telling him to come back immediately. He left around before Christmas, and his excuse was, well, this was a vacation that was planned before the lockdown. That doesn't mean anything, then you cancel them. If we're supposed to cancel our plans, you should cancel yours. And don't tell me that Doug didn't know that he was going in. I'm sure he did. You know, Doug also has broken the rules too. The media doesn't talk about it. He was at his cottage when during the Easter time. Justin Taquet, Tarface, Swiftfoot, Magdalene Trudeau was at his cottage as well. The Prime Minister's official retreat during Easter, not social distancing. Sam Oosterhoff, he didn't social distance even though we're supposed to social distance. And Doug Ford said, oh, everybody makes mistakes. And Sam Oosterhoff is still in the government, still in the party caucus. Where are all the mounted police after Sam? Where are all the police punching in his ribs? Where is his jail sentence? Where is his forced China virus test? Where's all of that? I mean, we, the common folk, get brutalized for breaking these unjust rules. And these politicians who clearly don't think that the virus is a threat, they don't think it's a threat. If he thought it was a threat, he wouldn't be in St. Bart's right now. If he thought it was a threat, Sam Oosterhoff doesn't think it's a threat. Patrick Brown doesn't think it's a threat. Remember, he closed down an entire hockey rink so he could play hockey, and the rebel caught him, and instead of arresting Patrick, the police charged David with trespass. Doug Ford doesn't think that the virus is that serious. He went to his cottage. He apparently went to some wedding as well. Justin Ataki and Matt Daddy Trudeau doesn't think it's a threat. He was not social distance. He went to a Black Lives Matter rally with all sorts of people. No problems whatsoever. Nancy Pelosi doesn't think it's a threat. But all of these people are ready to kill us and beat us and whoop us and lynch us if we disobey the rules in the slightest. I was watching a news article just now, which showed that Adam Skelly was treated worse than a killer in Toronto who murdered a child. So I'm going to call Doug Ford. Look, Doug, don't allow this guy to disobey you. You attack us when we disobey you. Go get him. So let me look for the number. Let me look for this number here. Here it is. I remember I posted it here. Okay, 416 805. And he posts his number, okay? He tells people to call him. So 2156. It's ringing now.
To complete this call.
Oh, I have to dial a 1. 1416 805 2156. Okay.
Hi, you've reached Doug Ford's line. Best way to get a hold of me is leave me a text message, and I'll be able to get right back to you. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Sorry, there is no more room to record messages. To leave a callback number, press 5. Please hang up and try again later.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Well, he says to leave a text message. So what I'm going to say in this text message, I'm going to text him. I will text him. And I'm going to say, Doug, I won't call him, in the text message, should I call him Uncle Doug, the domesticated house slave Ford? To wake him up? I don't know. You guys just determine that. You guys can write that in the comment section. I can read the things. Let me know if I should refer to him in the text as Uncle Doug, the domesticated house slave Ford, which is what he's become. But you sent a specific order to Rod Phillips to return back to Ontario immediately. You sent a message immediately. You said that. And he's still out there. Where are all the horses? Go get those horses, people from Toronto, those horseback Toronto police. Go get them to go meet Rod Phillips at the airport. And surround up his house and you take him and tie up his legs and put bag over his head. You're so ready to abuse us and you don't want to abuse Rod. I think Doug should fire Rod Phillips. Fire him and get him out of the caucus. I won't say that he should arrest him because, and here's the funny thing. It is, I don't know, it is legal. I went to Dominican Republic and I went. I'm not somebody who's trying to shut down the province. Rod Phillips wants to shut down the province and then hightail it out of the province so that he doesn't have to follow the same rules as us. He wants to go to St. Bart's and get wined and dined and treated well by the locals. Many of them are poor as dirt and treat him like some king from Canada. I remember when I was in Dominican. Look, they're not rough with us when it comes to this mask business because they want to treat us good. He doesn't want to wear no mask and he doesn't want to be locked down. He wants to live it up in the sun while writing a law that we suffer. So get this, it's not illegal to go to St. Bart's or even fly to China or even America, but you're not allowed to cross into the U.S. from Niagara Falls to cross in through the land border unless you're essential. And if you do it, you'll be punched up, bloodied up lip, bruised up lip, wrestled to the ground. This is wrong. So my message to Doug Ford is this. Since your phone is off, you don't want people to call you directly, your phone is completely shut off, you don't listen to your messages, you let your voice messages get full and you want people to text you, you probably won't reply to the text, which I'm going to send. But my message is this. If this virus is so serious, if it's so serious, fire Rod Phillips for going to St. Bart's. Fire him. He's not locked down like the rest of us. He's not going there for an essential. So I don't know. Rod Phillips certainly doesn't have any relatives in St. Bart's. What relatives does he have? Maybe his maid comes from. I don't know. Maybe his maid comes from there. But I don't think. Unless Rod Phillips, he has relatives, maybe the colonial officer or the governor general or the slave master or something. Maybe he lives there. But I don't think that he's going there. And even if there is family there, that's not essential. We can't see our family. And he's gone with his family to St. Bart's because he doesn't want to live under the new world order regime that he's imposing on us. He doesn't want to, which is legal. He can go there. I went to Dominican, but I'm not the one writing these laws. But what is potentially illegal is that the Premier of Ontario sends a direct order for Rod Phillips to come back at once to Ontario, and Rod Phillips is still there. He's been, to hell with you, Doug. To hell with you. What are you going to do, fire me? To hell with you. If you got to fire me, I got dirt on you, Doug. What about that wedding? What about that cottage? I got dirt on you, Doug. You gonna let this boy do this to you? Doug, you gonna let this boy disobey your orders like that? Hey, Doug. Show that you got a spot. Fire Rod. He disobeyed you. Fire him. Just do what you did. He's disobeying, Doug. Fire him, Doug. And if he continues, do what you did to Adam. Go get horses and police and, all these people after him. Fire. You gonna let Rod just disobey you like that, Doug? Publicly? You tell him to come back to Ontario from the Caribbean and he's still there? I mean, let's say I was a government worker. If I was a good boy, I could, If I was a good boy, not now probably, because in order to become, in order to be a bureaucrat, you have to be a good boy. You have to be a good boy. You have to be a good house boy. You have to be a good house boy to be work. Unless you're, you do what Trump does and you just you never hold any government positions and you just win anyway. But in order to, I'm not talking about like premier, but if I was like an MP or some government bureaucrat, finance minister, you have to be a good house boy. You have to be a good house boy. So if I was a good house boy and I was, in the party caucus or something, Minister of Finance, MPP for Durham, which is the constituency that I live in. By the way, Adam Skelly is actually calling me right now. I'll call him back. But if I was an MPP for Durham and I decided to help write a law which would put Ontario back into lockdown. I helped write it, and I would be all over Twitter telling people to stay at home, make sacrifices, don't see family, small business owners, stay locked down, all this stuff. And then I get a ticket to go to the Caribbean. I go off to the Caribbean, gone. And then Doug Ford tells me to get my ass back here. And I don't come back. And it's 2-3 days later, 4 days later, 5 days later, and I'm still not back? I mean, are you crazy? Let's say I wasn't even in the government. Let's say I am who I am now. And I went to Dominican Republic, right? Remember when I went there? Rightfully so. I went there. I needed a break from all this crap, which Rod Phillips does too. But you see, he's the one who's trying to harm him. See, the difference between me and him is that I'm not writing these laws to make Ontarians suffer. I know these laws are BS. I know this virus is not as serious. And Rod Phillips thinks the same thing too. But he's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He wants to make us suffer, but he can hightail it. If it were up to me, I'd take all of you guys up with me to Dominican. All of you. Every last one of you. Rod Phillips wants us to stay here and suffer while he goes off to St. Bart's. But if I were to have gone to Dominican, just me and my friend that I went with, and Doug Ford made an order that all Ontarians who are out of the country must come back to Ontario at once, and I said, I'm not going, you know how much trouble? I bet you the Canadian Armed Forces, RCMP, they would, my God, it would be just like the Bin Laden raid. You'd got all these people coming in. I mean, I don't know how much stronger Canada is to the Dominican Republic. I mean, there are several countries in the Caribbean which could beat Canada. I know Guatemala could beat Canada. Cuba could beat Canada. Jamaica could probably even beat Canada. I mean, seriously, we don't spend a lot on our military. But they would be roping into that hotel. They'd be looking for me. They'd bust me up. How dare you disobey? And it'd be a fiasco. Be in court, have to spend money on lawyers, all sorts of stuff. Look at Rod disobeying the premier. Just disobey. Just to hell with Doug. I'm not listening to you, Doug. I'm not listening. I'll come back when I feel like it. Doug, you gonna let this guy do this to you? Man, you really are a houseboy. You really are a houseboy. Remember that video I made, Doug, Uncle Doug, the domesticated house slave for? He's not a field slave. He's a house slave. Man, you're not only a house slave, but you're a chump. Fire him if this virus is so serious. But I don't think that Rod Phillips will be fired. And so this is just more proof that this is not these measures that 2020, it's not about keeping us safe. It's about control. Justin Takin Trudeau doesn't think this virus is that serious. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to his cottage. Doug Ford doesn't think the virus is that serious. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to his cottage. when there was lockdowns happening. Sam Oosterhoff doesn't think this virus is so serious. Otherwise, he wouldn't have broken the social distancing rules. Rod Phillips doesn't think this virus is that serious. Otherwise, he wouldn't risk his health to go to St. Bart's. Patrick Brown, the mayor of Brantford, doesn't think Brampton. He doesn't think that this virus is so serious. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone with his friends for an indoor hockey party while all the rest of us aren't allowed to go into that recreation center to play hockey. Nancy Pelosi doesn't think this virus is so serious. Otherwise, she wouldn't have closed down a hairdresser for her to get a hairdressing appointment. Otherwise, just like all the other people are not allowed to do. Same thing with the mayor of D.C. and Chicago. There are a bunch of and you know something? They know the facts. This is a virus that kills less than 1% of people who get it. 99% survival rate. Japan never had a lockdown. Their population is doing fine. Same with Sweden. Same with Taiwan. They know all this stuff. They know that wearing a reused mask is just as dangerous as not having one at all. They know all this stuff. That's why they're breaking their own rules. But these people are sociopaths. They want us to suffer and they can have their fun. They're not afraid of this virus. They ain't afraid of no virus. They ain't afraid of no virus. I mean, are you crazy? These guys aren't afraid of anything. But it's about control. And I think most of it is also because they're puppets to Big Pharma, to the globalists, to the New World Order, to the banksters, who want to rake in as much power and control that they can and take advantage of this virus. Bill Gates and Pfizer and Moderna and all these vaccine companies, they're making a fortune. 2020 was a great year for them. A great year. You know how much money they're about to make? But they ain't making it off of me. I ain't taking no vaccine. I ain't taking it. First of all, I've got allergies. I'm allergic to certain medications. And the NHS, the National Health Service of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland said, if you're allergic to any medication under the sun or anything whatsoever, you shouldn't take this vaccine. We can't guarantee your safety. So I ain't taking no vaccine. You can take it if you want. I ain't taking it. I ain't taking it. Not this vaccine. And it was hurriedly, rapidly made. And the first 2 people in the West to get the vaccine suffered adverse reaction. I ain't taking it! So that's my righteous message I have to send. And Doug Ford, you gotta fire Rod. You gotta fire Rod. Otherwise, you're a chump, and this virus isn't as serious as you're saying. And if that's the case, you're just gonna wake up more and more people. This is the